think the stakes are very simple. Will the next senator from Texas go along to get along? Or will the next senator from Texas stand and lead the fight?
Yes, you will.
I've spent a lifetime fighting to defend the Constitution. I served 5.5 years as the Solicitor General of Texas, the chief lawyer for the state. All right, I'm going to lose this thing. It's annoying me. The chief lawyer for the state in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. I served under Greg Abbott, the finest attorney general in the entire country. And over again, Texas led the nation defending conservative principles. Every one of y'all, when you came in, you came by the Ten Commandments monument at the front of this hotel. Texas has one of those on the state capitol grounds. Until an individual plaintiff, an atheist, a homeless man, filed a lawsuit seeking to tear it down. We defended the Ten Commandments monument. We went to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we won 5-4. We defended the Pledge of Allegiance when a federal court of appeals struck it down because it includes the words, one nation under God. We went to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we won unanimously. We defended the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms. We went to the Supreme Court, and we won 5-4. Right now, I'm incredibly honored to be representing over 3 million veterans all over this country, defending the Mojave Desert Veterans Memorial, a 75-year-old monument, a lone white Latin cross that was erected to honor the men and women who gave their lives in World War I. The ACLU sued, seeking to tear down that monument. And the Federal Court of Appeals ordered that 75-year-old memorial to our veterans torn down. We went to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we won 5-4. But you know, the biggest fight of my tenure, in case many of y'all know well, Medellin versus Texas. Medellin began with a tragic crime in Houston, where 2 teenage girls were gang raped and murdered by an illegal alien. And the case took a very, very strange turn because the World Court, the judicial arm of the United Nations, issued an order to the United States to reopen the convictions of 51 murderers across this country. It's the first time in history a foreign court has ever tried to bind the U.S. justices. Texas stood up and we fought the World Court. I argued this case twice in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. Apparently they didn't like it. On the other side, in addition to the AV technician, we had 90 foreign nations come in against the state of Texas, and we had the President of the United States. The President signed an order that attempted to order the state courts to obey the World Court.
Oh, gee.
So Texas stood up, we fought the World Court, we fought the United Nations, we fought 90 foreign nations, and we fought the President of the United States. We defended U.S. sovereignty, and we won 6-3. That's the record I'm running on. It's the record of a strong conservative and a fighter, because I think there's never been a time in our nation's history when we've had a greater need for a strong conservative and a fighter. You know, Heidi made reference to my family story, and like each of you, it's a big part of who I am. My dad was imprisoned and tortured in Cuba as a kid, beaten almost to death. Today, my father is a pastor north of Dallas. To this day, his front teeth are not his own, because they were kicked out of his mouth in a Cuban jail when he was a teenager. My dad fled Cuba in 1957. He came to Texas. Couldn't speak English. He had nothing except for $100 sewn into his underwear. And he got a job washing dishes, making 50 cents an hour, paid his way through the University of Texas. And he and my mother ended up starting a small business, a seismic data processing company, in the oil and gas business. So I grew up in Houston as the son of 2 small business owners. 6 seeing the ups and downs, the challenges of being an entrepreneur. And I'll tell you, it is an incredible blessing to be the child of an immigrant who has fled oppression. Because it makes you realize how fragile and how precious our liberty is. It's not written in stone that we will remain the freest and most prosperous nation on earth. As Reagan famously observed, liberty is not passed down in the bloodstream from one generation to the next. But each generation has to stand and fight to defend it. My father has been my hero for as long as I've been alive. But what I find most incredible about my dad's story is how commonplace it is. Every one of us in this room has a story just like that in our backgrounds. Whether it's us, or our parents, or our great-great-great-grandparents. This is a nation that has been formed from people from all over the world for centuries, fleeing oppression and coming here seeking liberty. And that's the most basic DNA of what it means to be an American, to value liberty and opportunity above all else. And that's why I'm so optimistic, because the American people are rising up to stop the Obama agenda, to stop the explosion of power and spending and debt that is coming to Washington, and to stand for liberty in the Constitution. That's what the stakes are in this race. All right, how about the second question? Why is it I believe we're going to win? This race right now could not be going better. We've seen several things happen. Number one, we have seen conservatives unite behind this campaign. We've seen Tea Party activists, we've seen Republican women, we've seen grassroots conservatives. Just about every major conservative leader in the state of Texas has endorsed this campaign. From Kelly Shackelford, to Cathie Adams, to David Barton, to Peggy Venable, to Ernie Angelo, to George P. Bush, to George Strait, to Tim Lambert. And just about every major conservative leader nationally has endorsed this campaign. From Sarah Palin, to Sean Hannity, to Rick Santorum, to Dr. James Dobson, to Mark Levin, to Concerned Women of America, to Gun Owners of America, to the 5 strongest conservatives in the U.S. Senate today: Jim DeMint, Mike Lee, Rand Paul, Pat Toomey, and Tom Coburn. I'm the only candidate in the country all 5 of them are supported. We have seen conservatives come together in this race because the stakes are too high for us not to have a strong conservative and a fighter in the Senate. Now,